Good morning to all. Good morning, students. Beta, today we are going to start second chapter of civics, that is fatalism. About fatalism, we have discussed in the previous chapter also, in the case of Belgium, that there were fatal power sharing. So, what is fatalism? So, let us start our chapter. See that in the previous chapter, when we were discussing about the ethnic competition about Belgium and Sri Lanka, we have seen that in Sri Lanka, the government adopted preferential policies towards the Sinhalas, and the Tamils, they were neglected, and with this policy of giving preference to one community created a situation of partition in the country. But in the other case, we discussed about Belgium, where the government adopted a different kind of power sharing among state government, central government and community government. So what is federalism? Federalism means existence of two or more levels of government. I think this is see in the next para, that is federalism is a system of government in which the power is divided between a central authority and various constituent units of the country. So usually a federation has two levels of government. One is the government for the entire country, that is usually responsible for a few subjects of common national interest. The others are governments at the levels of provinces or states that look after much of the day-to-day administering of the state. Both these levels of government enjoy their power independent of each other. Means both type of government, they do not interfere in the work of one another. I think this is clear. What does federalism means? Existence of two or more levels of government. Now move forward in the next page. Here we are going to discuss. See, so here we are talking about federations. Federations are usually contrasted with unitary governments. So what is unitary government? In unitary government or under the unitary system, either there is only one level of government or the sub-units are subordinate to the central government. Means the sub-units work as subordinate. Then the central government can pass on orders to the provincial or the local governments. But in federal system, the central government cannot pass order onto the state government to do something. So state government has powers of its own for which it is not answerable to the central government. Both these governments are separately answerable to the people, means both the levels of government, central government and the state governments, they are not answerable to one another, but they are answerable to the people. So let's discuss some of the key features of federalism. First is there are two or more levels of government, two tiers of government. So we have discussed that one is for the entire country, that is called central government, and the other is for the states or provinces. Second, different tiers of government govern the same citizens, but each tier has its own jurisdiction. Jurisdiction means authority, power in specific matters of legislation, taxation and administration. So this separate jurisdiction give them power in all these matters. Next, the jurisdictions of the respective levels or tiers of government are specified in the constitution. Means the powers and functions of each tier of government are written in our constitution. So the existence and authority of each tier of government is constitutionally guaranteed. Means that they have their surety, their safety, that is provided to each tier of government by our constitution. Next, the fundamental provisions of the constitution cannot be unilaterally changed by one level of government. What does it mean? If any of these level of government, they wanted to make some changes in the constitution, in the fundamental, means the basic, in the basic nature of the constitution, they want to make some changes, so only one level of government cannot make this change or make any kind of changes. Such changes require the consent of both the levels of government, means if they require some changes in the basic nature of the constitution, then first the center government will pass the bill, and then it is necessary to get it passed in at least half of the total states. So if it is passed, then that change can be done. So courts have the power to interpret the constitution and the powers of different levels of government. What does it mean? That if there is any dispute related to laws, related to any rights of the citizens, then the courts, they give their judgment, they interpret, they tell us what is written in our constitution. It defines our constitution and give judgment according to it. The highest court act as an umpire if disputes arise between different levels of government in the exercise of their respective powers. Means if there is any dispute between two or more state governments, between the state governments or the central government, then the Supreme Court work or act as an umpire and give the judgment or satisfy the or settle down the dispute. Next, sources of revenue for each level of government are clearly specified to ensure its financial autonomy. So the sources of revenue for each level of government are specified in our constitution, so that each tier of government, each level of government can work independently and do not depend on the other level of government. Next, see this, the federal system thus has dual objective. Dual means twofold. So first is to safeguard and promote unity of the country. So what is the first work or of the federal system? To safeguard and promote unity of the country, so that all the people can live together happily, be one. So while at the same time accommodate regional diversity. We know that India is known for unity in diversity. We have diverse population, the population who live in different regions, speak different languages, follow or profess different religions. So our constitution safeguards the rights and the interest of each community and help them to live together with mutual cooperation. So there are two aspects, so therefore two aspects are crucial. Crucial means important for the institutions and practice of federalism. So this is necessary. So government at different levels should agree to some rules of power sharing. They should also trust that each would abide by its part of agreement. An ideal federal system has both aspects, mutual trust and agreement to live together. Here we are talking about the relationship between the central government and the state governments. That state governments, they should have some faith in the central government, and the both levels of government work together on mutual understanding, have faith in one another. Are you getting it or not? So these are some of the key features of federalism. Beta, your homework is to read all these two points, and if you have any question, ask me or discuss with me in the classroom. These are some of the key features. This is all for today. So do it. If you have any query, then discuss. Have a nice day.